I'm sure they used that story to manipulate us and distract our attention. As promised in yesterday's video, if you haven't watched the video that came out yesterday, I recommend you do so because this video here is a continuation of the video that was released yesterday. I'm going to keep telling and explaining all the details of the biggest conspiracies that happen now in the year 2024. Are you ready? Well, are you already following the WhatsApp group so you can get the discount coupon for my 2 courses? That's right. On November 29th, which is just a few days away, we will have a huge Black Friday sale for my 2 courses, both English and finance. This is the first time the finance course is on sale, offering a chance to get it at an even lower price than its already affordable cost. So grab the link down below in the description, join the group, and don't do anything. Just wait, because on the 29th, I will send the discount coupons only to those who are in the group. So let's get to the conspiracies without further delay. At the very end of February 2024, people started to notice that Princess Kate Middleton had disappeared. She was out of the public eye for exactly 78 days. And I even reported on this mysterious disappearance of the princess in an exclusive video here on the channel. And this disappearance was really strange because every time these people leave the house, there are tons of people following them, taking pictures and so on, and she had just vanished. But until then, everything was fine. What was really strange was that the royal family kept giving a bunch of really flimsy excuses whenever people asked about Kate. If she had really had abdominal surgery like they said, like the official news also said, why would her relatives be avoiding talking about it? But besides that, to make things worse, they started making things up to distract the media from this case. They were faking evidence, faking photos of the princess's lookalikes, posting photos of the princess's lookalike on the internet. Why? It's a very strange and creepy thing. Some even suggested this photo could be artificial intelligence generated, and frankly, I wouldn't be surprised, okay? To make things worse, there was this Mother's Day photo that was clearly made in Photoshop. But like the royal family makes on average, okay, 86 million pounds a year, and that money is used only for the fulfillment of their royal duties. So, did they really not have the money to hire someone who was actually good at Photoshop to edit this photo before it was released? Did they really have to release this photo full of inconsistencies and, let's be honest here, edited as badly as it could be on social media, especially in the middle of this mess? In other words, everyone was just talking about this, and suddenly they release a fake photo on the internet? For what purpose? Even Instagram itself marked the photo as being edited, and the official British media asked people to stop circulating that image, because seriously, it was a very grotesque manipulation of a photo. And then looking at this conspiracy today, looking at this whole situation from the outside, I'm sure they used this story to manipulate us and distract our attention, while something much worse than all of this was going on in the background. Well, only those who lived through February and March of 2024 know what this whole Princess Kate story was about. After all that, she recorded a video saying she had undergone abdominal surgery, and that it had been very traumatic, but that everything was fine. It's just that I put recorded in quotation marks. Because once again, the specialists and editing technicians looked at her video and said, wait a minute, there's something wrong with this video here. And then they discovered that the video had also been edited. It had been put together. So up until now, no one knows what really happened in this case. Even today, even in November 2024, we still haven't had any explanation about what this whole situation was. And mainly, people forgot about this situation because worse things happened, and that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted us to forget about that case. They succeeded, but not here on this channel. Here on this channel, I take the mess that's already dried up and stir it so it stinks even more. But people kind of forgot about this case and this controversy because a much bigger controversy and a much bigger conspiracy came up. Yes, I'm talking about it. The solar eclipse on April 8th, 2024. This eclipse was so strange that it generated hundreds of even stranger images on the internet. And you can find this whole story in detail here on my channel. Some said this eclipse was prophetic. Others were certain. And I, looking at the images I saw, those huge things that passed in front of the eclipse while it was happening, animals showing completely strange behaviors during and after the eclipse. Seriously, guys, it was a real collective frenzy that still echoes in our lives to this day, because I have a theory and you'll have to agree with me. My life got really weird after that eclipse. It's like I switched realities. And you know what's worse? It wasn't just mine, no. A lot of people have reported the exact same thing. So I dare say that our lives have never been the same since that eclipse that happened in April of 2024. Oh, okay, I understand it's just a natural phenomenon. But at the same time, something happened. Especially because right after this eclipse, some of Earth's radars started showing bizarre anomalies. Who doesn't remember that, which became known on social media as the blob, which is a kind of anomaly that was identified on radars in the South Atlantic, moving at an absurd speed and changing the temperature of the ocean water. Well, it was right after this anomaly appeared that really catastrophic things happened. Like, for example, that huge flood that happened in Rio Grande do Sul and, of course, Pablo Marçal's candidacy for the São Paulo City Hall. Guys, is this real? Is this the real world? Sometimes I question my own reality because I just can't believe it. And getting back to talking here then about the royal family, the real world, and is all of this really real? King Charles III presented us back in the middle of the year with his beautiful official portrait. Do you remember that frenzy? It was a totally weird painting, full of hidden symbols, full of subliminal messages, and in really bad taste. And the internet went wild over this story because, after all, what the hell is this, Your Majesty? The elite of our planet is really strange, my people. They work, they do things that we couldn't handle if we knew about them. And speaking of strange parties with weird people, President Biden started to malfunction in the middle of the year. Do you remember? The images were so strange that it looked like the man had been replaced by a Tesla robot. We know, okay, that it's a matter of senility. But at the same time, how do they allow a guy like that to have both his little hands on the most powerful nuclear warheads in the world? Who was the guy who said, no, it's all right, you can send him? He's fine. What's going on here? That's why I ask you, is this the real world? How can they allow him, along with the Department of Defense, of course, to make decisions about the funding of all these wars that are happening in the world right now? Guys, things are looking bad for the United States. And you noticed that very well these past few days, right, with the elections, didn't you? Yeah, I don't say anything, guys. I just observe. Actually, I've already said it, right? Does it help? No. However, I keep doing my beautiful work. And speaking of the United States, we also had the evil conspiracy of American foods. The plastic foods. Well, we know that the food in the United States is very good and very healthy. So healthy, so natural. Yes, it is. What really amazed me about this whole story of plastic food in the United States is that now, in the year 2024, Americans are finally realizing that their food is really tasty, really natural, really good. After all, I can't say otherwise, can I? If I do, what happens? A bunch of Brazilian YouTubers living in the United States get offended. Oh, poor things. Why? Because you're eating plastic food and the plastic is going up to your brain and you can't think straight? Or maybe the chemicals in the food are making you even more alienated than you already were? I don't really know what's happening. All I know is that, let's give some credit. In fact, I was in the United States recently. And I can tell you that besides the 3 kilograms I gained in just 1 week, the smell of my fart, the smell of my poop, it smells like a musty carpet with cockroach poison. And at the very end, deep down, you can sense the scent of a radioactive chemical element. I think it's radon, but I still haven't figured it out. But no, guys, you can't really tell the truth. And it was now in 2024 that these videos of strange foods with a plastic appearance went viral on the internet and sparked a new conspiracy. Even though the conspiracy is new, being from 2024, I could say that this conspiracy isn't really new. It's been around since the 1970s, it's just that no one had filmed it before, but it exists. It really does. In any case, this is just one more conspiracy from the food industry, which works together with the pharmaceutical industry, you know? One makes you sick so the other can sell you miracle solutions in pills, or in the form of magic pens that you inject into your own belly, and all your problems go away like magic. By the way, speaking of the United States, I was there, watching television. In the United States, it had been at least 7 years since I last watched it, the trash of American television, and out of 12 commercials in a single commercial break, I counted 7 were about medicine. Miracle medicines that can cure all your problems. They cause you a lot of side effects. They have a lot of side effects, but they solve the initial problem. Just like these wonderful pens that make you lose weight or the pills that are sold. So I would call all of this a cartel where the companies really join together, One comes and makes you sick. In this case, the food industry. And the other wonderful one comes and sells you a magic solution for your problems. Well, that's the United States, isn't it? The one that exports trends like these to the whole world. So it's not just in the United States that this happens, but that's where it starts. Still on the topic of the United States, Donald Trump almost got taken down in the middle of the year. And you know what's craziest about all this? The Illuminati cards predicted this near takedown of his. And not only that, but an Argentinian psychic named Benjamin did too. And of course the Simpsons, because they're always included in everything. After all that, we were graced by the beautiful images and all that hidden and bizarre symbolism from the opening and closing ceremonies, respectively, of the Paris 2024 Olympics. Who remembers this crazy moment? Raise your hand. I remember, guys. I was here, I lived through it. Is this the real world? Well, it was kind of obvious there that they were doing a real cult to Saturn. But at the same time, other deities and entities were also called to play in the playground. And the thing was so intense, really so intense, that people had their energy drained while watching those ceremonies and the games, obviously. Now, to wrap up our video today, we had the marvelous conspiracy of Tyre. This conspiracy, by the way, I dare say isn't over yet. Even though the topic has cooled down a bit, I don't think it's over, no. And at the same time, I also think nothing will be resolved, and I'll explain. To me, the guy who was arrested wasn't even him. To me, he's living somewhere with all the luxury he deserves, while a lookalike is there playing the scapegoat for him. With the protection of the United States, of course. The leader's scheme is involved with the schemes of other people who are huge, who are big, who are very powerful. Like Jeffrey Epstein, who, by the way, I also think didn't. On the contrary, these people have a lot of power. It's very hard to bring down people like that because if one falls, they all will. And then there's no way to sustain this system anymore. This system is what makes Hollywood music muses, appear more and more beautiful, younger and younger. Well, these were the weirdest and most bizarre conspiracies of 2024, and I know there's still a month left to finish this wonderful year, so I'm going to leave this video open. This could be either the final part or part 2. It all depends on this planet Earth here. So I'll leave it as part 2. And if anything else strange comes up, I'll keep telling you. The other conspiracies of 2024, the main conspiracies of 2024. For now, I'll stop here with this video. I want to know your opinion about all these very relevant topics brought up in this video. And I'll see you in our next videos.